training you've got going?
Training.
What are you training for?
Getting fat.
Well, now we only have the 3 mics, so a few we'll have to share. How do you feel about sharing?
I've heard it's Karen.
Sharing is caring, yeah. Well, how's your convention going so far? You having fun?
Our convention, huh?
Yeah.
Our convention's going fine.
Yeah.
How's yours?
It's been pretty good. So we're going to open up the questions to the floor in a second. So you can either stand up, and there's like a mic, but then you have to stand and line up. So are you okay if people just stand up? If you stand up and yell your question and we can repeat it, that's probably best. So get your questions ready. But I want to ask you guys, right out of the gate, the end of season 2, the stakes were pretty high. You've got earmuffs if you haven't seen it. You've got Aiden underground for who knows how long. Sally has shred herself. And of course, Josh may be dead at this point.
Yeah.
What did you guys think when you read the script for the finale?
We thought everyone hated us and we've been written off.
You thought he might not be coming back?
I was like, oh, they're going to recast British actresses. yeah. They're going to kill me and they're going to recast me. That makes sense. There's some more really talented people out there.
They're making room for other, other remakes like Being Cuban. It's the Cuban version. And then Beijing Human.
And then of course Peeing Humans, which is it's a different show.
That's for the internet.
It's a really different show, but that's for the internet.
Yeah. So your characters, I love the characters on the show, but I gotta say, they make mistakes from time to time. Sometimes some questionable decisions, but I will say they do so under a state of a lot of stress and duress. But I want to start off by asking, what is the biggest single biggest mistake that you think each of your characters made this season? What's the biggest mistake?
I don't think. Oh, my mic is on.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you all. I think for Josh, it's been the same thing for a while now, and he just needs to be. He needs to accept himself and be honest with the people that he loves, and I think that's one of his character flaws. You know, and you say he's making mistakes, and I think his mistake is believing that he needs to protect people, because now it seems like everyone who he kind of keeps information from ends up dead. So it seems like the better decision would be like, yo. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm a werewolf and you should get away from me. Just so you know, just FYI, I'm a werewolf, I might kill you. Just not one month though.
Speed dating.
Speed dating.
Okay. Oh, werewolf is cool. All right, we have 30 more seconds. What are you? Nothing? You're good. All right.
What do you consider?
Nothing.
Nothing? You're nothing?
It's the 4th roommate.
Yeah.
Vampire werewolf goes, and nothing.
And
unemployed.
At least it was the nothing from Neverending Story though.
The nothing?
The nothing is the. By the way, that's what it is. Spoiler alert for season 3. Falcor.
Electro.
Meaghan, what about you?
Well, Sally's biggest mistake was not taking her door, I think, from last season. But I guess this season, what it would be is her possessing people, because really it led to a whole chain of misadventures for her, and became an addiction that unleashed a darkness in her. So I guess it was that.
Almost like the Force unleashed.
Unleashed.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And Aiden's biggest mistake, moving in with this Joker.
Oh!
Jenga. Okay, so the biggest mistake, in the first season, Aiden tries to keep everything from his roommates because he moves in with Josh because he knows that he can't do this going clean thing by himself. He needs help. But at the same time, he tries to keep Josh away from it, tries to keep Sally away from it. And then this season, things get so bad for him that he needs something to hold on to. He needs some solid ground to stand on, and he picks the wrong solid ground. He gets into a bad relationship instead of sticking with these guys, which he felt like he wasn't doing them any good by being around them. But it's a better call than where he ended up going. This guy has killed like 30 people this season.
Yeah.
Mostly vampires, but a couple of innocent people. So it was just he picked the wrong people, including Henry. You picked the wrong person, sir, and this is a bad call. And you know, hopefully you get the sense that if all things being equal, if he felt that he had more of a choice and he wasn't addicted to blood and this and that, he wouldn't have left these two. But you know, it's not really how it turned out.
Might as well face it, you're addicted to blood.
Did anybody else, when Aiden decided to go off with Stern, did anybody else scream at their television? Like, don't go with her, she's trouble. You did?
How could he leave that?
I know. I screamed like,
And for her.
You know, I mean, again, the feeling that I had is when Mother said, hey, you're cut off from all vampires, that immediately, and you know, I hope we go into this in season 3. But if you think about the implications of you're cut off from all vampires, he's thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm screwed because I can't eat anything now. I'm going to starve. I'm addicted to the real stuff again. I can't go back to the bag stuff. That's going to be too hard. And I'm going to get Josh killed now, because now I'm going to have a bunch of assassins watching my every move. What do I do? Well, I'm in this kind of bad relationship, but you know what? This is the best call right now. I'm going to go out with her, and you know.
do you know how long Aiden will stay buried for at this point?
Yeah. 35 years. 35 years. We open up the next season in the year 2021.
Yeah, that's
2028. Around there.
That's not 35 years.
Look.
I was gonna say, and then he's still buried for the next how many years?
There is a
I can't do the math.
Look, let's get sci-fi. When you're buried, every year is like, you know, 1.3 or 4 years in real life. So actually, my math is correct. And there's a whole really cool thing where Aiden, you know, this last season he was with vampires, and the next season he's with replicants the entire time.
Yeah. They all talk like this.
Yeah. He's a Blade Runner?
Yes, Aiden has to hunt down the rest of the replicants. And there's a big question at the, don't mean to give it any away, but is Aiden a replicant?
Yeah. What does he dream of?
That's right.
Any questions from the floor at this point? Oh, tons. Why don't we start in the front there?
It's obvious the three of you don't get along at all, so I guess my question is, on set, how often do you lose it?
Question for people in the back was on set, how often do you lose it? On each other?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you just start laughing.
I think a more accurate, like appropriate question is, when are you not losing it? And the answer to that is like, there's like about 15 minutes a day, and that's at lunch when we're asleep. So it's all the time.
Usually we're quite respectful of each other, but then we get to the point where Sammy is often not to me. We'll be doing a really, like I remember when we were shooting the scene where Aiden was saying goodbye to us, and it was a very emotional scene. We were all just really into it, except Sammy, who was just laughing at me the entire time.
I have no.
He was like farting on my arm.
Yeah, it got weird this season. It got weird. It actually did kind of get weird this season. We all like, because the crew was like, we were all really, really close. So like everyone's actual personalities started to come out, as opposed to the ones that they want you to know. Their real ones came out. Some terrifying shit went down.
This is like after you've been dating for a year.
It's
right?
exactly right. You start leaving the bathroom door open, which I did. It was fine.
Meaghan, is that how you distinguish between the Sams? Is it Sam and Sammy?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Another question from the floor? Maybe, yeah.
This is for Miss Whitworth. In the scene where you were being buried, how did that feel?
Question was about the burial scene. How did it feel?
Fantastic. It was great. Well, you know, there's the whole issue about like, did I do that stunt? I'm trying to remember. I know I did part.
Oh, falling into
the thing.
I wasn't there, dude.
I think there was a.
You could say anything right now. Choose your words wisely.
Yeah. So no, it was. I did. I think part of the stunt. They might have gotten some guy for like the shot coming down, so that couldn't have felt great for him. It felt fine for me. But I did also one shot going in, so I fell down. That didn't feel great.
No.
Laying in the coffin Because it just wasn't wide enough. Wide enough?
Yeah, it was real tight. It's actually something I like about it.
You're going to bathe, baby.
It also doesn't help that you're like broad, you're like the side of a barn.
It was, well, you know what it is like, I think when you're in a coffin, you're supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
So with my arms there, I'm just like, does that look good? It feels terrible. So it was uncomfortable, but the part where they started piling the dirt on, you know, which people have gone to me and been like, it was crazy, they're burying you alive. I'm like, yeah, but you know how the camera comes down and you see me? It's like, so. They didn't actually like, let's get a camera in there. We're gonna bury you alive. Oh God.
Actually, my favorite part about that scene was right before the coffin closes, you kind of adjust yourself. I thought that was an acting trick.
I thought that was really cool.
Better get comfortable, but it wasn't. It was just too small.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he's going, okay, well, this is going to happen. This is actually kind of a relief.
Yeah.
So yeah, might as well get comfortable. That was definitely because you get thrown in, you're uncomfortable, and then it's like, okay, well, no more hate, no more Henry, no more Søren, no more responsibility. Yeah, I'm going to relax. You know.
Yeah.
Fine. Go ahead.
And you can rest easy knowing that, you know, somebody's going to dig you up eventually, right? Scott, I mean, you know that the show's not over, right?
He doesn't know.
Aiden's like, wait, is the show over? No, the show's not over, I'm fine. Oh yeah, well, that's when you say, close it. You're confident that you're like, oh yeah, my show's not over, I'm fine.
Yeah, close it was what I was saying to my manager with the deal.
Oh!
Close it.
Bam! More questions from the floor. Maybe we'll go over to this side. Sir, in the front.
You know, I don't know if you guys have seen the UK version of the show, but there's been a bit of a character change along the way. And there seems to be a holy trinity of vampire, ghost, and werewolf. Will your trinity meet the UK trinity at any point?
Well, we are at a place with our show that it's completely different from the UK one. We've all seen the UK show and absolutely love it. But we're proud that our show in its second season has really taken a new path, and it's not really necessarily mirroring the British one intentionally. I think there are some points in the second season that happen to be similar, but we sort of like the fact that we're doing our own thing.
That being said, people ask that question a lot. It's like, is there going to be a crossover? You guys going to do the, I can't see your eyes now.
Sammy's big on eye contact.
Is that really a
that
thing?
camera right there.
Don't do that. I can't.
I lost it, and that's it. I'm really hard to work with. There's a camera here. How am I supposed to work? There's a camera here. So anyway, people ask us a lot if there's going to be like a crossover. Thanks, buddy. And I think the answer is probably no. I don't think that that'll ever happen. I mean, it would be cool, but I doubt that they'd ever be like, let's combine the worlds because they're so different, really.
Wait, was that the question?
I think that was the question.
Yeah, will they ever meet?
Oh!
Come on, Meaghan. She's
What did
not
I
listening.
hear?
She doesn't listen. She doesn't
She doesn't care.
listen, you guys.
This is just like on set.
Distracting.
Terrible. She's nightmarish. It's like a nightmare I once had, where people just didn't listen.
You guys truly hate each other.
Nightmarish, Teddy. I thought I just really, really clearly stated that.
Encapsulated. Yeah.
Hi guys. I once asked Meaghan what she calls you guys because you both named Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat what she said.
No.
I'm wondering how you guys refer to her.
What did she say to him? No, what happened?
She said one's mother effer and the other one's shitface.
We call Meaghan the idiot witch.
Queen of the Harpies.
Yeah.
They do call me.
The idiot witch. Yeah, because every now and then she comes in and she's wearing her sweater and it's just like, ugh, you look like an idiot witch.
That's to her face.
Oh yeah, well Megan's like, come on. She got thick skin. Almost reptilian, you can see. It's like an alligator.
Impenetrable.
Sammy, you did a great cameo on Face Off where you talk about werewolf makeup.
Yes.
I wanted to, watching it, I wondered, did you ever resent the fact that you went through all these hours and hours of makeup, and the others just sort of...
Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, actually, I actually don't. Like, they work really, really hard. We all work our butts off, and this just came with my, the job description. I had already had a lot of experience with FX makeup, hence the reason I was on Face Off, and which was, by the way, so much fun. Really glad you watched it. Anybody else see that? Keep watching the show, it's fantastic. But so yeah, no, I knew what I was getting myself into. The difference between what I do now on Being Human and what I have done in the past is I've done a lot of facial prosthetic stuff. Being Human is like my whole body, so it's gnarly.
One of my favorite things was in the first season. Sammy had a couple of days where he really had to go through a lot of stuff, and they put every. It's a different story.
I'm actually.
You actually don't know.
I'm waiting.
Idiot witch.
You see?
Oh my God! It's like this all the time.
It's unbelievable.
So he had a really tough group of days where they had to put on every stage of that makeup. Or they really started with the full stages, and they would peel them off, redo it, peel them off, and, so that they could shoot it backwards and have it turn to werewolf. And the thing is that the later stages had Sammy in a big mask like this. You could see his eyes. And then later in the season, they were doing another werewolf transformation, and they're like, oh. And a bunch of guys show up on set, and they all have the masks on, and we're like, oh right, because you can't see his face.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Sammy.
Here's actually a fun little.
They put you through it, like never thinking, oh.
Yeah. Insane. Insane. So I'm glad that got figured out.
Yeah.
Here's a funny little piece of trivia. The guy who played, refresh my memory, not Boner, not Stevie, but Dylan. The ghosts, this year, the teenage ghosts, the good-looking one, the leather jacket, that kid, last year was my double for the werewolf.
Was he in the chair?
He was in the chair. That was him.
Whoa, cool.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Trivia.
Is that okay?
I'll accept.
Okay.
Accepted.
When you're in the werewolf makeup, do you ever wander off set to the local corner store, the daytime era, and buy a Snickers bar?
Dude, I wear it home. My 2-year-old son, he loves it.
Aiden did a fight scene or something like that. He had blood all over his face and beat up, and I wouldn't order a pizza like that. So I'm walking it's like Fight Club. Like, hey, what's going on? Hanging out with a bunch of dudes.
It's crazy.
Fighting.
It's why making movies is so fun. I did a show called Caveman, where I played a caveman. pretty on the nose. And they used to have us to promote it. They used to have us go out in public.
That's so cool.
All the time, yeah, in makeup. And what was cool about it was actually really liberating. It was like, because you completely unrecognizable. So you can be whoever you want, and nobody knows it's you. So
Did you commit crimes?
What's that?
Did you commit crimes?
Oh yeah, lots. Walked over a couple liquor stores, just because I could. Didn't need the booze, but anyway, it's pretty fun. I like that I would steal booze too. I needed the booze. I didn't need the money in the register.
Give me some booze, man.
I needed some booze.
Fill up the bag with a bunch of booze.
Yeah, just like a grocery bag.
Booze can you carry out?
$35.
Steal the money and buy booze somewhere else.
Exactly.
Is it harder being a werewolf or a caveman?
Being a caveman was tough because it was 3+ months every single day wearing the makeup for like 18 hours a day. And so it was actually weird. It was nearly impossible physically, but also psychologically it was really weird because every single time I was awake, looking in the mirror, I was a caveman for 3 months.
Yeah.
So when the show finally wrapped, it was like I had gotten like some kind of reconstructive surgery. It was really bizarre. It was really weird.
Were you shocked by your real face?
That's the thing. I would look in the mirror and I would be shocked and when I would see my actual face.
That's how we feel about you every day.
Yeah, thanks. Idiot witch.
Hi.
Hi.
I love your show.
I love your show. I love your show.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Let's go.
Okay.
Stop flirting, you two.
Were you aware that Being Human is nominated for Outstanding Canadian Contribution to Science Fiction?
No.
For the Constellation Award.
Win that.
Okay, well, the Constellation Awards are Canada's fan-voted, fan-nominated awards for science fiction, film, and television, and Being Human is nominated for Outstanding Canadian Contribution.
Wow.
And Meaghan Rath, I'd like to congratulate you as well. You were nominated for Best Female Performance. For the episode, The One That I Haunt, which is from last year.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So anyone who loves Being Human and wants them to win, you can vote here at Wizard World. The Constellation booth is up at the row 1200 in the fan groups exhibitors place, just up the escalator.
So if we win like a consolation prize, right?
Constellation.
The consolation awards. Consolation prize. Okay, fine. Here's for trying. Nobody actually wins that award. Sorry.
Actually, no, Robin Dunn got a consolation award, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, we gave him one last year.
Yeah,
With Matt Rodeo.
Yeah, we gave one back right. Now, Interspace is also nominated this year for a for the same award. So, I think maybe Sam Whitwer and I have an arm wrestle, and if he wins, you vote for Interspace. See what I did there?
So
Screw arm wrestling Thunderdome.
That's it.
2 man to 1 man beats.
It made you wins. Another question from the board. Are you good? Yeah. Cool.
Thank you for informing us and everyone. That's very significant. Thank you so much.
Yes. And, oh, nice shirt. Swinging top.
Yeah, so this is a question going back to the direction of the show. Why did they decide to spend the entire first season mirroring the UK show and then finally being able to break free and have its own storyline?
Question was about season 1 versus season 2.
Yeah, why we followed the British version and then broke off. And that was really always the design, that it would start out very, very similar, and even as the season went on, in the first season, it would get more and more different. And we really ended the season very differently than they did. And then break off and get more and more different. That was just, why that was decided that way, I couldn't tell you.
I think it's a formula, that's been used over and over again when developing thank you for the word. Adapting any kind of foreign content to our side of the pond over here. They did it with The Office. They've done it several other times. Whipper, I'm sure that was like 9 or 10 other times that they've done it. 17 other times. And I think that the idea behind changing it and not continuing to follow the BBC series was because what's the point of having kind of 2 identical TV shows on at the same time? So, I'm personally really happy right now about the show.
I thought season 2 was great. Are you good?
I'm better than I've ever been.
Never will be.
I never will be.
What was your favorite part of season 2? Because I thought it really raised the bar for your series. So what was your favorite part? Like your favorite pivot or your favorite arc through? We talked about the biggest mistakes your character made, but what did you as actors like and think that they really got right in season 2 in terms of the writing?
I think we all have the same opinion on this. This was episode 10, which was the Dream World.
Dream Reaper.
Dream Reaper. And it was our favorite to shoot because we had been so separate all season we were all three of us on our different paths, character-wise.
Sammy's dealing with, he's off. What were you doing?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I'm dealing with Reaper, and I'm negotiating the Klingon-Cardassian treaty.
Doing good work.
But it was such a relief to get back to the three characters, because we kind of feel like it's strongest when it's us three. And we like to work with each other the most out of anyone we have on the series. So that was, we read that script going, oh, well, this will automatically be a great episode.
Yeah, it's almost like we're the three legs of a three-legged dog. Thank you.
He's right,
Thank you.
guys. It's not funny. He's right.
Yeah.
That feels like a headline.
It does, doesn't it?
And the dream world was great too. I thought it was shot really beautifully too, with the purple too.
Neat, wasn't it?
It was great. Yeah. Sir, at the microphone.
Question for Sam. Your character in Smallville, what would you find the difference is from him and your character in Deep News?
Yeah, it's a good question, because, okay, the difference is between Davis Bloom and Aiden, because they were both monsters who didn't want to be. And Davis would black out and do terrible things, and then the terrible things started seeping into his waking life. I think Aiden has a better sense of humor. Because I think it was simply that we didn't have the screen time to round out Davis the way that we can round out Aiden. So they had a lot of the same problems, but at least Aiden can make a joke of it every now and then, and I think Aiden is a, he's been around the block a few times, so how could he not have a sense of humor about a lot of this stuff? Whereas Davis was like, what's happening to me,
Say that again. Say that
what's happening to me?
Say it one more time.
Master of voices.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the question.
I like your jacket, dude.
Yeah, cool jacket. Why don't we go to the back? We haven't been to the back yet. Sir, yes.
Bitches in the back.
What?
It's a little boy. Look at him. Look at him. You need to apologize to him, you idiot witch. Look at him.
Hello, young man.
So you said Sam aged with, you had trouble with the emotional scenes. What were the transformation scenes like?
What was the first thing? The what scenes? The motion.
I was saying, if you could take the emotional scenes seriously, then what were the transformation scenes like?
What can you do? Yeah, what can you do? When aren't you an asshole? Sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry.
As a child.
Your parents, I'm sorry. No, I just, I think probably the day that I was giving Meaghan a hard time was, well, actually it was probably like any other day, but I was just in the mood to give Meaghan a hard time. No, most of the time we do pretty much leave each other alone when we have, pretty emotional stuff to perform. The transformation scenes are really, really, really physically draining because I scream with my whole body. So at the end of the take,
these weird mouths pop out.
Yeah. It's like Waterworld, only instead of gills I have. That's how you know. But yeah, I mean, for instance, like I remember it was like I think it was episode 1, episode 1 bleeding into episode 2 of season 2, where everyone, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Caveman has the gun trained on me, and it's like, is he going to shoot him? Is he going to, what's going to happen? And then it cuts to black and there's a gunshot. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's because that's how we ended the season as well. But yes, that scene, I'm laying on the ground, it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I was like, it had been such a long day, and I was literally completely physically spent. I was screaming and screaming and screaming as Adam Kane, our executive producer, was like, all right, keep going, you're in it, keep going. And I literally got to a point where I was like, I can't do it. And I literally like all the blood drained from my head, and I was just like, so it's Rugged. Sorry.
I kept trying. There's a scene where the twin werewolves are talking to us while you and Nora are screaming, and because you guys had to save your voices, you weren't actually screaming when we were doing that scene. And I kept trying to convince everyone. I'm like, these other characters, because we haven't done their screaming yet, they need to talk louder.
Yeah.
Why must they talk louder? Because they're screaming. Yeah, but they're not screaming that loud, right? I'm like, you guys have you seen the show? Like, he's screaming this out.
By the way, was it Dracula? Dracula was directed.
Yeah, no, come here, I will bite your face. That seems to be like my...
Your go-to director.
There's just one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so sensual, yeah.
We have an actor who literally, if you knew him, it's perfect. That is a perfect impression of him. God bless him.
We got about 5 minutes left. We're going to motor through some more questions. Let's start with Pauline. And then we'll introduce her.
This is for Sam W. You've done 3 series now in Canada. What do you see the differences in shooting in Canada and the United States?
I don't remember what it's like to shoot in the United States, so... in terms of being human, the cast, the crew is bilingual, and so they speak French as well as English, and sometimes we have a French director and they'll all be speaking French, and me and Sammy will be like, American leads here, guys. No idea what you just said. You let it on the process.
They're generally speaking, they're actually pretty. There's some people who have a hard time remembering that not everybody speaks French, but most people are pretty respectful of it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing is, like, I don't know. We're in there, like they speak French, so it's got to be tough to remember, But at the same time, like.
Well, I mean, in my mind, it's like this. It's been 2 seasons now, so it just is pure laziness that you guys don't understand.
You're right. In the 30 minutes that we have off a week, unlike the 5 days a week that you have off. We'll just go and start taking lessons, right, Sam? What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I need to go home and leave my home again in 10 minutes.
Yeah. To go and learn French.
And then, yeah.
No. We'll definitely get on that. Yeah. Idiot French.
Meaghan, I think for that you should provide some fake translations to the guys next time somebody speaks.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
He just said you need to take your pants off.
He said it. I didn't know. I don't know why you asked it. It seems not to fit. I understand that look that you're giving.
You should do it though.
You got to. He asked you. They pay you good money to do this.
What's great though is that because we don't speak French, it's an endless source of humor for me and Sam.
Yeah.
We're like Saturn, and we're like, yeah! Do it again! Oh, really? Well, why didn't someone say that?
Yeah.
We did in French. Oh, no, that's still great though. We love you guys.
Let's get to a few more. Oh, this attractive young lady in the front of the crowd. She's my boss.
Obviously you guys had a lot of fun, and the show has a lot of amazing one-liners, and Tony and I were talking about this before we started, but I just thought of another one. It's the scene where you guys are all having dinner together.
Yeah.
And Sally's lying down. It's you guys go to clean dishes.
Yeah.
And Surin says, I recognize your perfume. Or no, I recognize your smell. To Julia, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously she can smell her because of who she is.
Yes.
And you know,
It's just like when Megan's been spending a lot of time with Sam and I can smell his musk.
Teddy has it.
Yeah, did you guys have any favorite? Because my favorite one-liner from the season was courtesy of you, Meaghan, courtesy of Sally, and she said, you two are about to go on 2 separate killing sprees for women. That's hot.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a favorite one-liner at all?
I liked, yeah, but let's not forget that wasn't me, Stu stole my penis.
I liked, Sally gets a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was, those guys were my friends, except for the one guy who tried to rape me. But he's dead, holla!
I don't have any favorite
Stop it.
The gentleman?
So you guys have a show about a werewolf, a ghost, and a vampire. So what do you think about the idea of a caveman, a tennis star, and a Dark Lord of the Sith?
Caveman, tennis star, and Dark Lord of the Sith.
You got something, kid. I like where you're going with this. He's got moxie.
Well, the interesting thing about being human is, if you really watch it, you can tell that underneath all the supernatural things that are going on, really we're just playing. In here, a caveman, a tennis star,
In the dark.
and a dark Lord of the City.
That's what it's
Being human.
being human.
Being human.
Christy.
How do you think Julia's death is going to affect Josh?
I think it affected Josh. I think
Julia's
it.
death.
I think it had its. The question was, how do you think Julia's death is going to affect Josh? And I think what, you know, everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen season 2. Everyone, we're good there. We're good. We're clear.
I haven't.
Well, then that's your own fault. You're gonna talk about. I don't even know who said that. Dad, I'm sorry to this section. But he goes after Ray because he feels like everything that he touches is dying. Everything that he loves dies, and it's because of his curse. Like, he blames his curse, and I think that he really comes to the what he thinks is the right thing to do is to kill Ray, who's really, I mean, yes, he did turn Josh into a werewolf, and he's kind of proud of it. But he's really kind of an innocent now. You know, he's turned his life around.
He's got pretty blue eyes.
He's got really beautiful, engaging blue eyes. Yeah, good eyes.
Great legs.
Really sturdy man.
Sturdy.
You know what I mean? Just climb on like an oak.
Barrel chested.
Yeah.
With a bunch of walnuts in his mouth.
Yeah, I'd like to go over Niagara on that guy.
Oh, we're gonna get to a few more quick audience questions.
I'm sorry. I hope that answered your question a little bit before.
Man,
We went off the rails.
Just quickly, season 3. You got a season 3. Congratulations. Are you all happy with that? When you start shooting, do you know any plot points? Any places you'd like to see them go other than the replicant angle?
We start shooting in June,
Yeah.
and we know nothing.
I would like to see a little bit more levity this year. If I'm being honest, I'd like to spend more time with these guys.
We know that's going to happen. That's
That's something I think we can kind of spoil you guys.
As I understand, yeah, the band is getting back together this year.
Yeah.
Which
is
also
nice.
means that Jake and Elwood are joining the house.
Hey, yeah, werewolf, man!
Yeah, nice.
That's happening, eh?
Yeah, Jake and Elwood are joining us.
Blog about that.
Jay Baruchel is playing Elwood.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Hope Jay comes back. But I'd like to see Josh smile again. You know, that'd be nice. So we just need to get him to a place where he's emotionally ready to do that.
Yeah.
I think for all of them, I think they all need
Yeah.
to smile a bit more. It was a pretty sad season, I think.
So heavy.
And so, yeah, I think we're all ready for a fresh start.
Which to cover our bases here, I think was really necessary. Felt like they had to kind of hit rock bottom before they could build themselves up. So I was really happy with how it kind of went down in depths and despair.
Cool. It's probably gonna have to be our last audience question. You already got into the guy with the green hand, the neon hand. Hello.
Hi guys, I'm just
You win.
Yeah.
I do it.
Tiny hat.
If you guys could choose any other supernatural or even mystical creature for yourselves as characters, what would you guys choose?
Which other supernatural creature would you choose?
I think it's pretty clear, a unicorn.
Megan's gonna say mermaid. It's really obvious. She loves mermaids. I'd be Alf. Phoenix.
Yes.
I'd be Phoenix.
One tier.
Exactly.
So last question, hopefully the show goes for a lot more seasons, really stoked for season 3, but if you could, budget is not an issue, nothing's an issue, if you could write the ending for your character whenever this great series ends, absolutely spitball, pie in the sky, what would your perfect ending for your character be? You cannot say Blade Runner, say.
Wasn't gonna say.
Super offended. Super offended. Look at him. I'd like Josh to be cured. I'd like him to, you know, I love Josh Levis and he's a good guy. I know he's a good guy, and I'd like him to be cured, and I'd like him to marry Nora and have a litter of babies. A litter.
God, that's such a hard question.
I'm a journalist.
That's what he does.
Teddy, I want Sally to find some closure and become an archangel.
Oh, Archangel.
Nice.
You're never gonna get there.
Yeah, you set the bar pretty high.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And I think I would, along the lines of what we saw in this season, I think, you know, because Aiden feels a sense of responsibility to protect Josh and Sally from all this stuff, and I think he, at the end, needs to sacrifice himself against a squad of giant robots.
Yep.
That are
We're all thinking
the city. We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
And so he has to go down fighting a bunch of giant robots.
That's if and Teddy, and that's if budget is not an issue. Not an issue.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's give a big hand. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, man.